Malwat? Why them Lucian so make them this?
Suipui, some 2.5% HCSL thing is a tax vibe.
So what that have to do with people getting meg? But just now, to me them people paying VAT already.
Exactly. The tax is calculated on the cost of goods, so one time the price go increase, Kuma. The Lucians end up paying more than 15%.
Mama!
Gasa, just imagine $100 go buy less groceries. People getting poor. Things like rent and utility bills go also increase, Gasa.
Real Malawi vibe?
All them things the people doing to stay healthy, like gym, healthy eating, and safety and security, go be harder to get because people ain't have money.
Partner, if them people ain't have enough money, they ain't go have leftover food for us to eat. The bins go be empty. Wow!
Things real happening to them Lucians. Look out for us again soon. We go show you all more.
Malwat? Why them Lucian so make them this?
Suipui, some 2.5% HCSL thing is a tax vibe.
So what that have to do with people getting meg? But just now, to me them people paying VAT already.
Exactly. The tax is calculated on the cost of goods, so one time the price go increase, Kuma. The Lucians end up paying more than 15%.
Mama!
Gasa, just imagine $100 go buy less groceries. People getting poor. Things like rent and utility bills go also increase, Gasa.
Real Malawi vibe?
All them things the people doing to stay healthy, like gym, healthy eating, and safety and security, go be harder to get because people ain't have money.
Partner, if them people ain't have enough money, they ain't go have leftover food for us to eat. The bins go be empty. Wow!
Things real happening to them Lucians. Look out for us again soon. We go show you all more.
Malwat?
Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines, we cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report.
At the SLP's Conference of Delegates in Vieux-Fort, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre made a desperate attempt to rewrite history.
You will remember that the United Workers' Party only gave COVID support to NIC contributors.
This claim is absolutely false. The truth? In July 2020, under the UWP administration, 5,000 St. Lucians who were non-contributors of NIC received $500 per month for 3 months to help them survive the pandemic. Prime Minister Pierre knows the facts, yet he chose to lie to the nation. Why? To mislead and divide. St. Lucia deserves a leader who values integrity, one who speaks the truth, not one who tries to twist it. Pierre, Pabo, we need real leadership, not deception.
Welcome to the Caribbean American News Media Show, your premier destination for in-depth coverage, engaging discussions, and entertaining segments showcasing the rich tapestry of Caribbean American culture. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from current events and community spotlights to arts, music, cuisine, and more. Our show features exclusive interviews with influencers, artists, community leaders, and everyday heroes who are making a difference in the Caribbean American community. Stay informed and inspired with our thought-provoking segments that highlight the diversity, resilience, and creativity within our community. Tune into the Caribbean American News Media Show for a captivating blend of news, entertainment, and storytelling that celebrates the Caribbean American experience. Get ready to discover new perspectives, celebrate successes, and connect with the heartbeat of the Caribbean American community. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay tuned to Caribbean American News Media Show for an immersive viewing experience like no other. Hashtag Caribbean American News, hashtag show, hashtag cultural celebration. Welcome to the Caribbean.
Special good night to all our viewers here on Caribbean American News Media Platform. Good evening to all. It is good to have you here with us. It is 8:14 p.m. and it is a Tuesday, of course, and we are live on the air. We are live on GVD TV channel 115 and soon to be live on Fire FM. That's, I believe, 107 FM. All right. So we want to thank you so much for being part of the experience, folks. How was your week? Here's wishing you a beautiful evening. We're going to spend that evening together, share the live, and tag a friend as we get ready to immerse ourselves into news developments from around the region, around the world. And so a lot have been happening. We here at Caribbean American News took some time to restructure our program, and I am very pleased to let you know, report that we are over 5 million viewers as of today. Over 5 million viewers within one day. We were able, a matter of fact, 1 week, we were able to capture 3 million viewers. And so thank you so much for being here with us on the platform. And we also would want to welcome our 3,000 new subscribers, of 3,000 new followers of our platform from Guyana and also from Trinidad and Tobago. We had an increase of audience coming into the platform. Again, we want to greet our Guyanese brothers and sisters. Welcome to Caribbean American News Media Platform. And also to our Trinidadian brethren, we want to congratulate you on your victory over there in Trinidad and Tobago. Very interesting line of events happening there in that country. Also, Guyana, we know we're going to go over to Guyana very shortly. There's a lot happening with our brothers and sisters over there in Guyana, and so we want you to continue to share the live and tag a friend. Again, we are reporting that we have passed the 5 million viewership, and I am very pleased with that development. A lot of interesting things are happening here on Caribbean American News. I took some time to restructure and to work on our system. We are still hoping to upgrade our second computer system so that we would not have any delay or breakdown here in our studio. But thank you so much. We're going to be focusing a lot more on the region. We're going to be spending a lot of time again in St. Lucia, where they are gearing up for an election. Also St. Vincent. I spoke to the General Secretary some time ago of the opposition there in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we should be, you should see a lot of stuff coming out from this platform in these areas. But greetings to all our viewers and our listeners. Again, we will be live on, we should have been live tonight on Fire FM. I know that everything is being worked out for our broadcast on that radio frequency. I believe 107. We'll have all the information and we'll update our information so that you can listen in your vehicles. You can listen on your radio from all the length and breadth of St. Lucia. I believe Thai FM is still upgrading over there in the Viewfort in the south of the island. So very soon you will have the full force of Thai FM, Caribbean American News Media Platform, in the area there. As we keep you up to date, we keep you informed. Again, greetings to all our bloggers. I see a new trend with our new YouTube channel where there is a tete-a-tete with our Facebook viewers. So a lot of people prefer to be on YouTube, watch it on their television, their smart television, outside of GVD TV in St. Lucia. Of course, those in St. Lucia, they view it through GVD TV and also our Facebook channel. But again, greetings, and we're going to, 107.7 FM, that is Fire FM. All right. So please share the live and tag a friend. Remember to, you can participate in the poll that we have running on the platform. Please feel free to support the network as much as you can. As you can see, we are upgrading, we are building, and we have our first, I believe, our first Guyanese viewer on for the night, and that is Elvis Jones out of Guyana. Greetings to you, Elvis. Thank you so much for being part of the Caribbean American News media family. We're hoping to cover more stories coming out of Guyana, and we would we are making contacts with some partners there in the country. Those of you who would like to contribute to Caribbean American News over there in Guyana, the number that you can reach out to us from is 929-586-1821. You can, GVD will be up very shortly, folks. So you can reach us at 929-586 1821. You will be able to contribute. If you would like to call live on the air, you can reach us at 929-586-1821. And information you would want to send, you can send it over there. If it's an emergency, I will during the night post a emergency number where you can get us 24 hours with breaking news. And remember, the platform is the news that you report. The news that you report on the platform, we want you to be free to share your thoughts, to share your experience. There is something you would like to highlight. I believe that I can give you the opportunity. We have our next Guyanese brethren in the house, and that is Bennett. Greetings to you out of Guyana. All right. All right, so folks, let's get to work. We have Jones coming in from Guyana. Thank you so much. So we have that increase. All right, so we are on at GVD TV. This is Caribbean American News Media Platform through our brother Soto over there in Dennery, St. Lucia. Greetings to you and those who are viewing throughout the length and breadth of St. Lucia. Welcome. You are viewing GVD TV channel 115, and like we said, soon to be on Fire FM, that is 107.5 FM. We are broadcasting from the United States in an unknown at an unknown location where nothing matters to us, folks. All right, so we have a lot of developments, and so we're going to get to work. Again, if you would like to share information with us, you want to reach us live on the air. For our new viewers, the number is 929. You need to write it down, 929-586-1821. That is a WhatsApp number. It is not a regular call number. It's a WhatsApp number, and you can reach us from any part of the world. You like to have an input on the broadcast. It is 929-586-1821. We look forward to hearing from our Guyanese brethren and our Trinidadian brethren. These are our newest addition to the Caribbean American News family, and I just want to remind you again that we're over 5 million strong as of today. 5 million viewers strong. Thank you so much. And I see my friend, Mr. Lionel James Ellis. Greetings to you, sir. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time. And the folks asked me to mention 107.7. That is Fire FM. Yes, it's going to bring the fire, the heat. The heat is going to come on there at 107.7 at some point. So let's continue to go over to the Fire FM Facebook page and like it and follow it so that we can build it up and you can have your personal experience there on the platform. But I want to greet our brother, Mr. Ellis. All right, folks. So most of you would have heard of the name Adriana Younge out of Guyana. Many of us were concerned, we were shocked, and we were angry, and all sorts of stuff started going on in our heads with the whole Guyana, Adriana Younge and her family situation. The story started with the family going to a hotel there in Georgetown, I believe, Guyana, with young 11-year-old, and this was on the 25th of April. That's just recently, folks. And within hours, a whole lot went wrong over there. And I just want to say before I continue with this story on young Adriana Younge, Guyana, I believe, needs some attention when it comes to policing, politics, and just, to me, there's a lot that we have been hearing about Guyana. Guyana is a beautiful country. I've been there once. I've been to a place called Bachelor Adventure. Beautiful community, folks. I took a group over there in Bachelor Adventure. Beautiful country. Beautiful. I mean, the food. I went to one of the markets outside of Georgetown, and the food and the folks were so friendly at the market. A lady almost fell in love with me. One of the ladies. Beautiful country, friendly people. As a matter of fact, a majority of my friends are Guyanese here in the United States. They're good people, but we have a major problem when it comes to crookedness, I must say, in that country. And it must be highlighted because there are too many incidents in that country that people cannot get justice. Everything seems to be just confusing and done in a upside down way where there is no real clarity on anything that, I mean, deserve clarity. I share with you a story. My brother-in-law, who, passed some time ago, lived here in the United States, left his house, somebody in charge, and before you knew it, his house and land was sold under him. When he thought he had a house, someone was able to go to the bank, go to a JP, go to a lawyer, go to all these people and get his house from someone in Guyana who knows nothing about the house. You understand what I'm saying? So your house is sold under you, following all the legal processes in the country. And it has been going on for years and years, and nobody is held accountable. Nobody. Thank God I came across the information. We contacted the lawyer there in Guyana, and they were able to take the people to court. The bank was sued. The JP who signed off. And of course, you would believe that you need an ID card to sign off any document in Guyana or anywhere in the world, but somebody who don't own the property was able to go to a JP. JP was able to sign off on the deal. Sign off on the deal. And then when the brother thinks he has a house, the house gone, land gone, and somebody else is living in it who don't own it. So there's a whole lot of stuff that we need to speak about when it comes to the region. Of course, Guyana, Trinidad, Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, how things, policing and the legal fraternity and the political ghetto, what is going on in these areas. And so here is another incident, folks, in Guyana. And by the way, while the young family is experiencing this whole situation, there are many more in the country who can't find their loved ones. Loved ones got shot in their beds with their wife by police officers. People get gunned down who has no guns, no weapons, gunned down in the streets. And people just go along like it is business as usual. But let's go over to this story. So Adriana Younge went with her grandmother, family, to the hotel in Guyana. That's on the 25th of April, that's last month. And so they were at the pool, they were hanging out, having their fun. Everybody had their wristband and everything else. Having fun. And before you know it, folks, Adriana goes missing. Now you would think that at a hotel with a pool, you will have people back and forth, you will have cameras, and, you would have some level of security in that place. But 11-year-old Adriana went missing. Mother could not find her. They looked in the pool, and that would be the first thing that I would have done as a parent. I left you by the pool. I come, I don't see you. I would look in the pool. The first thing I would look in that pool to ensure that my child is not swimming or not dead in the pool. Any parent would do that. First reaction would be to check the pool, of course. So they searched the bathroom, and the pool was searched the very night. And no Adriana in the bathroom, no Adriana in the pool. And so the family spends the time searching and questioning and in panic to find their daughter. Only, folks, and listen to the story. Now, this sounds like Cartoon Network or, in a real country, friends. In a real country, this will bring down, will activate major crime units, and all sorts of investigations would, of course, be happening here. In the real world, of course. And so other individuals came, they searched the pool, and there is no Adriana in the pool, and there is no Adriana, of course, in the hotel room. She's not in the company of her family, which means that the young 11-year-old girl was in the company of somebody. She was in the company of some human being. But as the world turns and things get upside down, the story continued to unfold. And so out of nowhere, her body shows up in the same pool that the family and others had just searched. Now, I don't care how black the water is. As a matter of fact, if the water was black, it means something is wrong with the inspectors in Guyana. If you have a swimming pool and the swimming pool, you can't see the bottom, it means that it needs cleaning. Maintenance should be shut down. So let's say it's not shut down, and the story continues, of course. So the family found Adriana's body not floating, but in the pool, based on what we're hearing from the media there and from the parents of the young lady. So the child appears in the same swimming pool. Nobody sees anything. Nobody knows anything. So it sounds like the parents went to search, or the people were looking at some other swimming pool, not the one she was found in. And if all these individuals who searched that pool and did not see that child needs an eye inspection or need to go over to Cuba and get their eyes checked, then that needs to be done. But the young lady's body, friends, showed up in a pool. And not only that it shows up in the pool, all hell break loose in Guyana. Now, I must say to you, and this is just me looking into the Guyanese business, it seems to me, based on what I'm gathering, is that a lot of Guyanese don't trust law enforcement. And I am subject to correction. It sounds so to me. And it's a very dangerous thing when people do not trust their law enforcement. When the image of law enforcement is so messed up that even when the police tells the truth, people don't trust them, it means that there need to be police reform in the country. Not the same old. They need intervention. So, I'm going to take you over to a story that I got from one of the media network over in that country. Just bear with me. I'm going to get you over to that story. Remember, our lines are always open. Anyone can call to share their thoughts on this matter. And we have some other matters to deal with. We have a shipping company that we got to deal with in St. Lucia and here in the United States, where people are not getting their shipment. We are following some developments with logistics, shipping. So let's go over to this story, friends. Okay, bear with me.
Simon on Monday. However, no reason was given for the postponement of the funeral and burial. Prior to the confirmation of the funeral service, it was reported that the family was seeking another autopsy to be performed on the child's body. However, this was reportedly called off after the controversial nature of the pathologist, Dr. Hubert Daisley, was highlighted. The body of Adriana Younge was discovered in a pool of the now gutted Doubleday Hotel at Tushin, East Bank, Essequibo, on Thursday, April 24, almost 24 hours after she was reported missing from the facility. The child, along with her grandmother and other relatives, had gone to the poolside on Wednesday, April 23. She was reported missing at around 14 hours, and despite initial searches in the pool, her body was not found. Nevertheless, an autopsy conducted on the child's body some 4 days after, discovered by 3 international pathologists, including one selected by the family, determined that the girl died as a result of drowning. On the night following the revelation of the autopsy results, there were a countrywide unrest conducted by individuals who hijacked protests calling for justice. Dozens of persons have since been charged with terrorism in relation to that unrest. Meanwhile, on Monday, prior to the announcement of the postponement of the child's funeral, diplomats representing the ABCE countries issued statements. The diplomats are U.S. Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Terriot, the British Ambassador to Guyana Jane Miller, the Canadian Commissioner to Guyana Sebastian Seguin, and EU Ambassador to Guyana Rene Van Ness. In their statements, the diplomats expressed condolences on the death of the child and urged that Guyanese use nonviolent and non-destructive means to voice any concerns regarding the situation. They urge all Guyanese to keep the peace and respect the rule of law. Meanwhile, also occurring prior to the postponement of the child's funeral was the revelation by controversial politician and leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, that certain individuals and organizations were planning to disrupt the funeral and incite violence. Hughes made this revelation in a statement on his social media page. However, when he was contacted by the police, the AFC leader refused to cooperate and share information on the planned disruptions. The Guyana Police Force noted that Hughes refused to divulge information that could help in the mitigation of these disruptions, claiming that he needed to protect his sources. Hughes has since been strongly criticized for taking this position. Meanwhile, on Monday, President Dr. Irfan Ali renewed his message of unity and compassion, offering prayers and sympathy to Adriana's grieving family. Trishelle Slubbers, Evening News.
All right, so there you have it, folks. So we have some other video, but the line is open. I'm going to open the line now. We have a number of other discussions that we got to go into, but I'm going to open the line at this time, 929-586-1821, for those who would like to call in so we can have a discussion on this whole situation. Let's go over to the family of Adriana.
For an independent investigation. I don't need the Guyana Police Force. I need the FBI to come and investigate this.
This is the mother.
That will bring a lot of closure to me and bring justice to me and my husband and my family and my daughter and my son. We've lost all confidence in the Guyana Police Force because from the inception, they tried to tell us that my niece left the hotel, which she never did. They showed us footage that my sister told them it was not my niece, and yet they released a statement saying that my niece left in a vehicle. So we cannot trust them anymore to investigate, and we do not trust them. So we need the FBI to come in and do a thorough investigation, and our family needs justice.
All right, so
we have a call coming in, folks. We're going to take this call. Caribbean American News Media Platform, caller, you're on the air.
Hi, good night.
Good night. Where are you calling from?
The Caribbean.
Oh, you're calling from the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yes, we're discussing the Adriana Younge case there in Guyana.
Yes, and I'm a Dominican watching. The thing is, right, I'm not against the people of Guyana. Yeah. I support them fully.
Yeah.
The question I have to ask, right, that's coming from a mother's point of view, that's coming from someone that has nieces, everything, etc. How is it that they're claiming, I'm not saying no to the child, being drowned or not, because already you're not there to see the autopsy done, you can't, you're not a doctor, you can't see.
Yep.
But my question to the family is, how does that logically make any sense that a child in a pool where there are more than 20 people and you can't find her to the point where, you were looking around, the grandmother was searching around, the hotel personnel was actually, searching, telling her, okay, they will go back and watch the camera to the point where they gave her a different story. Then there was also an instructor. I think I'm following that story from day one.
Right.
An instructor who was there with the children and was also helping search. How could they possibly miss a child? If someone is drowning, only if someone in that pool may have happened to hold her down under. But even if she was held down, you would still see the child under. So logically, this makes no sense. And this is I'm the question for the Guyana police. Logically, make sense out of that. An investigation supposed to be conducted. And honestly, I think one of the stuff that was actually failed, and I was disappointed in, was the fire of the hotel, where they couldn't, they can't really go back to get any information. You can't retrace the steps. So I think this is devastating. But my heart goes out
because caller, I believe that it is
family.
bad. I believe it's bad crime scene management, because that place should have been protected. It should have been restricted from anyone just walking in, and the crime scene alone is contaminated. We had civilians all around the body, all over the body, and it was just chaotic. Exactly.
So this again is to show that I was a failure on their part, because I'm not saying no. Yes, okay. Parents are looking for their daughter. And number one, what I find that is strange. If anywhere you go, anywhere in the world, a child has gone missing, you know that child is missing from the hotel. Why wouldn't you allow the family to search the whole hotel? Or you yourself as a hotel, the owner, wouldn't you be there searching in the hotel with that? Thinking about it. Like, I'm putting...
And you're welcome to do that, yeah.
Hotel personnel. Yeah, they should have charged the hotel. They are picking up everybody that's affected in the piece. But the first people they should pick up was the police. They should be charged. A court case supposed to be, because that's a fail to the child. That's a fail to the parents. Like, come on.
Because the autopsy report indicates that the conclusion is that she had no broken bones, and she died of drowning. Now, this does not mean that she was not murdered.
Precisely. But I can also state that, and I think, someone else maybe can say that too. If someone has been suffocated, and after they have suffocated, or after anything has happened, you put water down the throat, you are going to find water in the lungs. It has so many things to question. Imagine when the nurse came out and made that statement, and boom, they suddenly to say that it was not true. It's like when you start to think about certain things that the nurse said, it actually started to add up a little bit more than what the policeman stated. Because I'm not saying no, we are not here, we are only making assumption because, it's for phone, we're watching on the internet, nobody can tell. But based on what everyone is saying, and based on what knowledge of everyone knows of a body that drowns, anybody that drowns, and even if it's a child, because I remember that a child that drowned, and when that child got drowned, the body wasn't like that, to the point where, and you know what, that triggered me and made me believe that this was actually a murder. How is it that you have doctors conducting a postpartum, and not one out of the 3 doctors, nobody can determine a time of her death? So if she was in fact drowned, can't you tell that a body has been in the water for 15 hours, for 10 hours, for 24 hours? How can't you state, you can say you can't, because why? The body is decomposing. Does that make any logical sense to anybody? How can you not? That is the first thing, no matter how many years, or no matter where, you can always tell by a body the date not you wouldn't be able to tell the time, but at least you can state that that person's body has been in the water for 3 days. That person's body can be there for 4 days. So how much hours you should be able to tell. There is something wrong with those things.
Yes.
And I feel that the family, I totally respect their point of view by keeping it on the shushu, but I believe they should conduct an autopsy. Don't tell nobody. Don't make nobody know. Not even us. Yes, I want to know, but don't make nobody know. Conduct it where it's only you all alone that is there and the doctor or the truth, and do that behind the government back to find out the truth. Because the only way you can get justice for this child, it lies in her body.
Yeah,
and you cannot bury her on that life.
Scholar, I don't know if they can do it behind the government back, but I believe the family, they are trying to engage an expert over there in Trinidad and Tobago, and I believe I heard that there are other professionals who volunteered themselves to assist in the family in getting to the truth, because it looks fishy to us who are looking in. It looks confusing at the same time, and it is not fair to the family because they need to know what happened to their child.
Exactly. And then there was, I think it was the Prime Minister, President, whoever he was that came and speak. And it was more politics. And other than the politics, I'm not saying, okay, fine, I expect politics. But how can you say, you as a father, a grandfather, or you will stand on the president's word by what the people said and whatever? No, you should be able to say, okay, you know what? By watching somebody's body, and that is where a doctor should be able to tell, okay, I can see, here is what happened. They should be able to even give the family, okay, I can see that she was struggling by showing her, hey, her hands were up, so that means she was, you understand me? Certain things or certain way that someone died, you're able to tell how they passed. So it has a lot of things that honestly, that is not making no sense at all. And anybody that have logical sense that will sit down and listen to what the police are saying, the parents are saying, the grandmother saying, and the list goes on and on and on. My statement is, I don't believe, maybe she drowned, maybe not, but I wouldn't believe that there is more than, let's just say logically, more than 50 people at that pool.
Yeah, well, something went wrong, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it, caller. But thank you so much. That was a call, one of our callers there from the island of Dominica. Dominica, of course. The lines are open at 929-586-1821. We have some other developing matters that we need to be discussing. We have a shipping issue. We have a shipping issue that we got to deal with in St. Lucia, and also the CIP situation there. We have some documents that we'll want to share with the viewers of our program. So let's go back to the family of the mother of Adriana over there in Guyana.
I know that you said you stand with this family and you are willing, you're going to leave no stone unturned. And so as a family, we are calling on you. We're asking that you bring in the FBI, request that the FBI comes here and do the investigation for young Adriana Younge, who tragically was murdered. As my siblings, my sisters said before, we have no trust in the Guyana police force. We do not think that they are competent enough to carry out this investigation. And so we are calling on you to stick to your word and support this family by inviting the FBI to come and do the investigation for us. Thank you.
Anything else you want to say before we go? All right. Thank you.
So that is the family there of Adriana, let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air, Caribbean American News Media platform.
Hey, my brother, how are you?
Not bad at all. Greetings to you, sir.
Yeah. I have a few questions on that matter, man. Some things that I don't understand because I never read on the fact that how the police conducted the investigation or didn't conduct any investigation. But listening to you tonight, there it raises a lot of questions as to why wouldn't the hotel be the first place that they come and close off and ask everybody, make sure they conduct a search and to, everybody that is there, find out what, a little bit information on everyone, take everybody's name, that's there. So, I mean, if anything, you can fall back to those people but this situation there is just sad all around, and there's so many questions, Brother Garfield. I just don't understand how, the people that ought to serve and protect us tend to let us down sometimes in such way. These families, they need answers, and it looks like the answers are not forthcoming.
No.
And I realize there's a lot of speculation. It's actually making it worse because where there's no information, you get people speculating.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But just the information that is out there, man, I don't know. It's this thing just doesn't add up. This kid is 11 years.
11, yeah.
In a pool, in a swimming pool, with she wasn't by herself based on all of the reports. She was not by herself. How did she end up being by herself when she was dead? That's a question that someone needs to answer.
And the question is, Chief, is that the family and others checked the same swimming pool. She was not in it. 24 hours after, she shows up in the swimming pool.
She shows up in that swimming pool, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
But and how would a hotel in this time and age don't have surveillance?
Well, we heard that they did have cameras, but the cameras were not working.
So they didn't have cameras.
Well,
that's it.
They had, but didn't have. Yeah. Like everything else in the region, we have, but we don't have.
That's a huge. Listen, man. Honestly, it's a slap in the face to the parents because a hotel is not a cottage where it's secluded. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
A hotel is a place where you have security. You have a lot of people going in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it strange how a little child can come in and out and come back in dead, because if she wasn't in the pool, she would have to be somewhere else.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
And then she finds herself back in the pool, but this time
dead,
lifeless.
Yep.
You see, there is. I think the first person that needed to be held liable was the owner of the hotel.
I think the owner was arrested and released by the Guyana police force. That's the information that we're getting.
Okay. Because the reason why I'm saying that is he has to be held liable. Because number one, in your business, people ought to be protected. You have to have security to protect people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you fail to do that, then you should be held liable for whatever happened in that space.
Yeah.
Now, there is, Brother Garfield, like there is so much that could have been done by the police themselves. And I'm saying at the time when it was reported. And to me, the police themselves dropped the ball.
Yeah, the hotel was looted and burned down. A crime scene we're talking about. Contaminated.
Yeah.
Contaminated. So how can you really... Go ahead, because I get a little concerned.
They just failed based on other information there. Like I'm seeing they failed this family, and it's just sad that this young child, we probably will never know what really happened to her, and she may never get justice.
A lot of people fail. A lot of people fail this child and the family, Chief. A lot of the system fail, as far as I'm concerned.
And this is just by the little information we have. There could be more that we don't know. You understand? And I think as time goes by, hopefully, things will get better, and the ball will start rolling, and maybe they can get a little bit of closure as to what really happened to her daughter, because someone needs to find out. Someone knows what happened. Maybe not one person, but I would just start with one person.
Yeah.
Somebody knows what happened.
Somebody know. Yeah. Somebody know. The girl was, based on all evidence that we see him, the girl didn't walk into the pool dead. She can't walk in the pool. That's impossible.
This is impossible.
Right.
And this is how I'm looking at it too. It just doesn't make sense. And they need to do something quickly, because I believe the more time goes by, the less information that they will receive. And they better do that quickly, because again, Brother Garfield, they made an error. Sometimes most of these people there, what if they are not from Guyana? What if they are visiting from somewhere else? You understand what I'm saying? This person can commit the crime and leave the country already.
Because I'm hoping, Chief, that the police would have gotten the guest list of that hotel, the log of that hotel.
I'm not counting, and that's what I'm saying.
And that
I'm not counting
none
on
of
that.
these guests would have been allowed to leave the country unless they were interviewed by the Guyana police force. I am hoping that would be the protocol.
But let me show you something. Who's to tell you that the hotel themselves is doing due diligence when it comes to even having a log with people's information up to date? Because
their cameras are not working,
and they're not working.
Right.
Precisely.
And if they claim, if the alibi is that the family could have been mistaken because the pool water was dark, it means that you guys are nasty. You should have cleaned your pool.
My friend, I'm telling you, there is a lot more than what is being reported, because I believe a lot of the information that is out there are based on speculation. These information are not factual. Whenever you see information and not coming from the right sources, and even when it comes from the right sources that already didn't do a good job from the beginning, people are not trusting those sources.
Yeah, because and the worst thing is that to have no information or little information from the authorities would leave space, as you're saying, for all the speculations, rumors, and who gets stuck in the center. The poor family have no closure. This thing will hunt them and hunt them and hunt them and hunt them. And that's why I'm calling on the people of Guyana, I'm calling on the people of the region and the world to get involved. Let's give the support to the family. Let's try our best to avoid, as much of the propaganda as I see flying around. And I would ask the authorities to step in, get the professionals in. This is not a closed case. It's not a cold case. It should be an active crime scene. It should be an active investigations. And I don't buy that because the president of Guyana or President of Guyana, Ali, gives a presentation or a report on the air saying, well, the autopsy said that she drowned and that's what it is and blah, blah. No. He needs to just assure the family that we're doing all that we can to bring the information to them and leave it there. But don't go in explaining anything. You're not an expert when it comes to crime scene. Allow the authorities, the professionals to update the nation, because this is not just the Young's family we're speaking about. We're speaking about the entire nation of Guyana.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. I'm not sure if you're privy to that information, but I think that information is also important. How big is the pool at that hotel?
I'm going to be showing it in a minute.
Oh, okay. Because that's very important. You know why I'm saying that?
Talk to me.
That pool cannot be that big for people not to see that child in it. It is ridiculous. And if I'm looking for a child in a pool, I will not just stand there and again, assuming that the water was dirty, you will not just be standing and trying to look for the child because, again, it's dirty. It's like going in a lake and you cannot see below the lake. What would you do? You'd go down and search. So, to me, whoever is putting these information out doesn't make sense. And they're making it worse. And honestly, I think the president I'm not going to tell them what to do, but I believe that the president of Guyana should not be making statements like that. Let the professionals put information out. Because I know for a fact, all I knew from the time I know myself, when I heard about people dying in the Caribbean, most of the time someone dies, especially in St. Lucia. What you would hear? The autopsy, shock and hemorrhage. You heard some flood used to always joke about that.
Yes.
You know all that. Everybody that dies in St. Lucia dies the same way. Everybody has the same thing. So so these things we need to take it a little bit more serious and make sure that the right information is being put out there, because these the family themselves, they're left with nothing but questions.
Yeah.
So they need the right answers. Thank you very much.
And the more the authorities open their mouth, is the more questions the family have.
I know.
But thank you so much, my friend.
Sure. Okay. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Folks, the lines are open at 929-586-1821. We have some other matters to discuss, but the number to call, 929-586-1821. Let's have a discussion on this, and then we will get over into some other matters on our news desk. Remember, this is the news that you report, friends. The news you report. Everyone, all are welcome on the platform to engage with us. Again, 929-586-1821. So let's go over to the pool. These information we're gathering from online and from some of the network or the media networks over there in Guyana.
Well, there's lights, there's not cameras, right? But I see camera there. And I asked the management, I said, what's going on with the cameras? There's a female washroom here, there's a bar here. The management explained to me that when you come, and if you're going to use the pool, and as you can see, you see the pool here, clear. Like when the family said they went in the pool and checked, everybody went in.
Now we're going to just take this call. Caller, you're on the air, Caribbean American News Media Platform. I believe we got disconnected earlier.
Yes, we did. Let me continue stating what I was thinking. Okay, so the depth of the pool, right, was 8 feet. Am I correct? 8 feet. 8 feet would be almost a sheet of plywood.
I believe there are different levels. There are different. Measurement
levels as to the pool. Yeah. Right. So that still means, let's just say, hypothetically, that it was the 8 feet because that's where the child was found. Because I remember from the video that was posted, she was around the 8 feet. So 8 feet. Let's say you drop in something 8 feet. That water was not dirty. It was blue water. And despite anything, even if it was a little, how should I say it, a little cloudy, you could still see if there is something under that water. So the child should be about roughly, let's say about 5 feet or less than 5 feet. How would you not see that child under that water? None of these things make sense. Over and over again, it makes no sense logically. And I don't know. I will say it again. I sympathize, and hopefully that the family do find the truth when it comes to that, because this story is worldwide. And I don't know if anybody wants to volunteer, come down, help that family, do the autopsy, tell the truth. Because I believe that the only way the truth is, basically, I should say, is in the body. Seeing that the hotel was burnt. And also, I know for sure you can also look through a burnt. The FBI, America, them places that they have the tools to do so, where they can recreate a whole hotel, everything, even if it's burnt, to locate information regarding that child. I think they need to conduct an investigation. They should have closed that hotel from day one. Even if it was burnt, they could have still closed it down and conduct investigations. But I don't know, for some reason the Guyana government just not interested in finding out the truth about what happened to this child than just to say, okay, wow, she drowned, bury her, that's it. As to how she drowned or what happened, they don't care.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they don't care, but something is wrong, and we got to figure it out.
I will say they don't care. Yeah. I will say they don't care, because if that's a government that cared, the same way they could have taken forces at when they were conducting the autopsy to run the people. Forces could have been used to find out information. Police could have been in the hotel searching with the family. They could have done things in place, because that wasn't just an ordinary missing child. So again, I would put blame. It have a lot of blame to fall, but it starts from the top and it falls back down. And the hotel personnel, which don't make no sense. One time they saying, they look at a footage, which was the wrong one, which are making no sense. Make it make sense. You say your camera not working. You say you get a footage that's the wrong one. The person that provided information should also be charged too, because I'm lying against the law. You put in hey, listen, this case they need to arrest a lot of people, the same way they are picking up people on the road. So they need to arrest a lot of people. And it starts from the hotel personnel, it starts from the hotel owner, the police officers, and all of that. They need to show an example from all of that, and not the people on the road because they're protesting, and to come and take them and put them in jail. And I've seen people supporting that. They will support it because, they said, they're vandalizing this, they're doing this, they're doing that. I agree, fine, no violence.
Well, vandalization is a crime, a criminal act. So
right, it is.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Exactly. But also, from first instance, the first wrong, and number one, they should even charge the police officer because he saw the place on fire. You are a police officer. You're trained to be aware of your surroundings. Even when you're watching, a big crowd, you're more aware. You saw the smoke. You could use that phone you were on to notify, hey, there's a fire, there's this, there's that. You don't even attempt to say, hey, or screaming to ask people to help. Look, you have a pool of water. Why didn't ask some people to come and help to, throw water on it? Something, you just walked away? He should be charged too. I'm sorry.
Well, let's see where it goes, caller, but I got to move on now. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us, all right? Look forward to hearing from you. All right, that was a caller over there in Dominica, okay? So let's go back to the video we were playing before we...
You ain't got to check if there's a body in this pool. You could see it because the pool is clear, right? So, obviously the young lady, the 11-year-old who has gone missing from this place is not in this pool, right? So I walking around, I look in, I talk to management before I talk to the mother and the father to make sure I have an inclusive story. Everybody knows what's going on, why it's going on, and so on, right? So you got the pool here. The pool water looks clear to some extent, but still, if I don't know the depth of this pool, So if you go, that is saying 8 feet. That is saying 7 feet 6 inches, 5 feet 5 inches. If you look at it, right? They're saying 5'5". They're saying 7'6". They're saying 8 feet. So for 8 feet is reasonable depth for a pool. So you would have to go in and check in the pool, right? The young lady is not in the pool. So it could be ruled out that she drowned. Family members who are now just outside here are visibly concerned and worried because not much is coming. Why doesn't this hotel have cameras working? I spoke to management. Management said that only today yesterday they started servicing the cameras, shut down everything, and then the cameras this is what management told me directly. The cameras for only the upstairs were completed because the cameras, something was rusted for it or so on. Bear in mind, this is what is presumed to be an international hotel. But at some point in time, people have to service their equipment and all these things. I can't dispute that. The Guyana Police Force now has to look at, because look, there are cameras here, right? There are cameras here, all around. I asked the management, I said, do you have cameras to show that this young lady was in your place? Because to go in the pool is $500 for a child and it's $1,000 for an adult. So obviously they have some structure as it relates to people being in the pool. Let me see what I got here. Right? This is some kind of rule. Pool rules. Swimming to your own risk. We are not responsible for accident or injury. Right? So you got a whole pool rules here. Right? So the management has a lot. There's the female washroom here. I don't know where the male washroom is. The male washroom is on the other side. There's the bar here. And just outside of that is the pool. And clearly from the pool, you could see the road. Now, what the family is asking is where is their 11-year-old child? Right? That is the question here. That is the major concern of family members. Because there are cameras. Everywhere you look, there are cameras. But again, management is claiming that the cameras at this time is being serviced. Right? So if it was operational or functional, you would have been able to see what is going on. Look, there's cameras here to the entrance of the building. Right? Obviously, they got cameras in the kitchen. They got cameras all over the place. The family is here. Members of the family. Bear in mind, this is 20 family members came out to have a good time. Right? Family members are here. The mother is here. The grandmother is here, who brought out all the grandchildren with intention of having a nice time. People don't expect to have family members missing. So answers need to be given. The Guyana Police Force need to be forthcoming. Family members, the grandmother and the mother is saying that the Guyana Police Force has told them that some car pick up the girl. They got to sit down, the family members, and explain to them how they're doing the investigation, what is the process, who they suspect. And again, a lot of times, because of social media and everything, putting the information out there, the Guyana Police Force don't want to give information that they already have to make a suspect aware that they're on their tracks. But obviously, they got to bring some consolation to the family and let the family be aware that here, we got this covered, we got to deal with this, how we going to deal with it. The girl is not in the hotel. The girl was seen coming out of the hotel. The girl went in the car. We are tracing.
Folks, now this video seems to have been recorded before the young lady was found. guys, you understand what is happening here. Now, I want you to use your brain as a people. You don't have to be an expert. So this gentleman, there's a missing girl, a missing child. This guy recording could have gone around the pool, in the back room, around the hotel. All during this time, the young lady can't be found. And the police, based on what the gentleman is saying, we don't know if that's the truth, is saying to the family, well, she was seen going into a vehicle and leaving. She was seen going into a vehicle and leaving. But the pool is still there. So based on what people want you to believe, of course, while this gentleman is recording, her body, based on what they're saying, was in the pool all the time. So you see how confusing this is becoming. Now, the hotel is not burned, nothing is happening there. Still standing, everything is in place, people are waiting for information, and waiting, and waiting, and waiting. So, you would think, one, there's a missing child, and the authorities or the people in the owners would have tried to drain the pool or try to go into the pool, and you would believe that there is a search, there's something going on with the pool. But what we're hearing is that there is no body in the pool. Dead or alive, nothing going on. And if you don't, and that's why I'm asking you the question, do you believe that the young lady was murdered? Because her body mysteriously showed up in the same swimming pool that the gentleman is walking around. Now I take my time for you to think about what I'm saying, friends. Now the family, they're outside. They're out there. They're right there in the compound, the hotel compound. So my question would be, who found her in the pool? How she got there? I'm sure you have the same questions too. But the video footage that I just played on this platform, friends, says a lot. It says a whole lot. And we got to stick on this story. We need people to come forward, talk to us, share with us. Let us keep the fire burning, because the family deserve to know the truth. This must never be an unsolved mystery. It must never be permitted to become another cold case where nothing happens. No, friends. And I'm going to play the video again before we move forward. I'm going to play it again.
Cameras, right? But I see camera there. And I asked the management, I said, what's going on with the cameras? There's a female washroom here, there's a bar here. The management explained to me that when you come, and if you're going to use the pool, and as you can see, you see the pool here, clear. Like when the family said they went in the pool and check, everybody went in the pool and check. Normally, you ain't got to check if there's a body in this pool. You could see it because the pool is clear, right? So, obviously, the young lady, the 11-year-old who has gone missing from this place, is not in this pool.
She's not there right now.
So I walking around, I look in, I talk to management before I talk to the mother and the father to make sure I have an inclusive story. Everybody knows what's going on, why it's going on, and so on. Right? So you got the pool here. The pool water looks clear to some extent, but still, if I don't know the depth of this pool. So if you go, that is saying 8 feet. That is saying 7 feet 6 inches, 5 feet 5 inches. If you look at it, right? That's saying 5'5". They're saying 7'6". They're saying 8 feet. So for 8 feet is reasonable depth for a pool. So you would have to go in and check in the pool, right? The young lady is not in the pool. So it could be ruled out that she drowned. Family members who are now just outside here are visibly concerned and worried because not much is coming. Why doesn't this hotel have cameras working? I spoke to management. Management said that only today yesterday they started servicing the cameras, shut down everything, and then the cameras this is what management told me directly. The cameras for only the upstairs were completed because the cameras, something was rusted for it or so on. Bear in mind, this is what is presumed to be an international hotel. But at some point in time, people have to service their equipment and all these things. I can't dispute that. The Guyana Police Force now has to look at, because look, there are cameras here, right? There are cameras here, all around. I asked the management, I said, do you have cameras to show that this young lady was in your place? Because to go in the pool is $500 for a child and it's $1,000 for an adult. So obviously they have some structure as it relates to people being in the pool. Let me see what they got here. Right? This is some kind of rule. Pool rules. Swimming to your own risk. We are not responsible for accident or injury. Right? So you got a whole pool rules here. Right? So the management has a lot. There's the female washroom here. I don't know where the male washroom is. The male washroom is on the other side. There's the bar here. And just outside of that is the pool. And clearly from the pool, you could see the road. Now, what the family is asking is where is their 11-year-old child? Right? That is the question here. That is the major concern of family members. Because there are cameras. Everywhere you look, there are cameras. But again, management is claiming that the cameras at this time is being serviced. Right? So you got, if it was operational or functional, you would have been able to see what is going on. Look, there's cameras here to the entrance of the building. Right? Obviously, they got cameras in the kitchen. They got cameras all over the place. The family is here. Members of the family. Bear in mind, this is 20 family members came out to have a good time. Right? Family members are here. The mother is here. The grandmother is here, who brought out all the grandchildren with intention of having a nice time. People don't expect to have family members missing. So answers need to be given. The Guyana Police Force need to be forthcoming. Family members, the grandmother and the mother is saying that the Guyana Police Force has told them that some car pick up the girl. They got to sit down the family members and explain to them how they're doing the investigation, what is the process, who they suspect. And again, a lot of times, because of social media and everything, putting the information out there, the Guyana Police Force don't want to give information that they already have to make a suspect aware that they're on their tracks. But obviously, they got to bring some consolation to the family and let the family be aware that here, we got this covered, we got to deal with this, how we going to deal with it. The girl is not in the hotel. The girl was seen coming out of the hotel. The girl went in the car. We are tracing.
So that was the same night, folks. But then, so we're going to be following this story, and I have one of my contacts in Guyana working on some information. So we will be having a dedicated broadcast. I'm not sure if it is Sunday or when, but we will announce it, and we got to keep the ball rolling on this one. It must never, as I said earlier, become a cold case. This is Caribbean American News Media Platform. You're viewing GVD TV, channel 115 over in St. Lucia. And very soon we'll be on Fire FM. That is 107.7 FM on the FM band. We're also broadcasting via YouTube and our Facebook channel. Now, we have some information that came to our desk here concerning a shipping company, some shipping issues. Now, I got a phone call sometime last week from a customer of Prime Shipping that's over there on East 92nd Street in Brooklyn. The individual, when they reached out to me for help, shipped maybe 3-4 months ago, shipped some supplies to St. Lucia through this company. I believe it was maybe 3 or 4 e-cartoons and barrels over to St. Lucia by this company. And I believe the agent in St. Lucia would be Spence Shipping. But to her surprise, she's not getting any answer. She's being pushed around the place. She cannot locate her consignments or shipment. And it is just rudeness and disrespect, lack of information when it comes to, these companies. You would expect that people send their stuff to their country.
This is how my wife...
And some of these shipments would have had, of course, sentimental value and monetary value for some of these people. And you would expect that, the basic courtesy and respect would have been afforded to these families, my friends. And so the individual, and there are many others I'm finding out, who cannot locate their shipment in St. Lucia. And I believe the carrier, the logistic company or cargo company, is actually Tropical Shipping, I believe. And so it is a major concern for me. And I'm going to see if I did reach out to the company yesterday, and I did alert them that I was going to be live on the air discussing this matter. And the young lady said to me that she cannot give me information, but she would have reached out to the owner and have them to contact me. I did not hear anything as of today. As of tonight, 9:33, I have not gotten a call from these people. Not a call. So what I am going to do is that I'm going to make a call. I'm going to call. Bear with me, folks. This is Caribbean American News Media Platform. And again, it is indeed the news that you report. The news you report. So we're gonna make this call right now to see how we can connect with the individual who is having the problem with her shipment. All right, we're still trying to make contact with.
Hello.
All right, caller, you're on the air. We're actually discussing this whole shipping issue that a lot of people are facing in not only here in the United States, but also in St. Lucia. People are sending their supplies, the items, and having issues in retrieving them in St. Lucia. And I know you would have had your own share of issues. You want to share with us?
Sure.
Yeah, so what is happening? What is happening with your shipment? And by the way, I did reach out to the company, and the manager was to get back to me, but I have I have not gotten a call.
Yeah, they're not going to reach back.
Mm-hmm.
I have been waiting for a call back since March 27th.
Mm-hmm.
I shipped 3 commercial boxes and 4 barrels on February 22nd. They were at my doorstep at 8:30 in the morning, prime shipping from New York. Pick up the shipment, and up to a day like today, I cannot get any paperwork. I cannot get any information on where my items are.
So no paperwork. You don't know at this point.
I have my receipt that I paid of when they took it, but I cannot get anything of whether or not my items. The last information that I had when I spoke to the rep up here, she said that the items the item got to Miami on a light freight, and it was supposed to get to St. Lucia by April 7th, and someone will contact my family. We're now in May. The last conversation I had with them was yesterday or day before yesterday here, where the young lady said to me that the shipment should be in St. Lucia on Thursday. So that's another wait again. I've asked for management supervisor to call me. She said, yes, they will. She passed on my name. She's only an employee. Her thing is she's only an employee and she doesn't know anything. And my whole thing is the receiving company in St. Lucia has mailed them and emailed them, because we're in contact with them, our receipts, and they have yet to give them any information.
Oh, so the company in New York, in Brooklyn, they are refusing to give information to the company in St. Lucia, which is Spence Shipping.
Correct. Because Spence Shipping has been open front about everything. They were like, listen, your family came to us. We told them that we send them, hey, where is the manifesto for this person's information? Where is it? Where is it? And nothing whatsoever, nothing. Until when yesterday I called again, she was like, well, I'm in contact with your family. I said, no, when I called you, me and you had a conversation. You said you were going to call me back with information. You have yet to call me back. I have been calling you, no answer. I went to the address because it's like, again, in New York, anybody could have a business in their home. It's in a private home. And the neighbors was like, yes, that shipping company is there, but a lot of people have had problems with them.
So basically, your items are not in St. Lucia. They were not shipped.
No, I don't. I at this point in time, I feel my stuff is lost, and they cannot come and say, "Listen, we do not know where your item is. What is the cost of your items? Here is the reimbursement. Just give us the receipts of what's in there, and we will pay you off." Because to me, that's what it is. It is. We're almost $12,000 worth of stuff in 3 commercial bins and 4 barrels.
And the company in Brooklyn, that is Prime Shipping.
Prime Shipping, yeah.
Which started their business in 2023. You know, they're basically new to this this business. They're just pushing you around.
Exactly. I do not know what's going on, because when we used them before, we had no problems.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, problems just started occurring.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not know what the issue is, but to me, they should be more transparent with the customers, because I am not telling you ship my items and I will pay you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I paid you. I tipped you. I over-tip your guys.
Mm.
Because whenever they come, they're like, "Oh, yeah, we know." So at the end of the day, I do good business with you, but at the end of the day, if there is a problem, I think that, the supervisor, the manager, whoever it is, should reach out and say, "Hey, this is what's going on," because we have been calling every single week. I called twice to find out where is my stuff. And every time it's just the runaround. We're going to get back in touch with you. Somebody will get back in touch with you. Somebody will get back in touch with you. It got to Miami. The freight was light, so it had to wait. It's going to be the April 7th. They're going to contact your family. Now we are in May and still nothing.
Oh, boy. And it's difficult
February
to get the
22nd.
owner. It's difficult to get the owners of the business over here in Brooklyn.
Exactly. So right now we're just moving forward the way we're supposed to move forward, because nobody's giving no information. Nobody is saying anything. And like I said, we need to actually, talk and advocate to get these type of businesses out of business. Yes, we want to do business with our own people, but they are not responsible. They do not care.
So Prime Shipping is a St. Lucian company.
I'm not too sure. It's been investigated to find out what the root of this company is. It's a mixture, because the guys who come, they're from St. Vincent and Grenada. So I don't know exactly where they're originated from, but they have contacts. Like there's some shipping companies that have contacts with different countries and so forth. So at the end of the day, Dennis Shipping has done shipping for years, and nobody has had that type of, problem. But we always try to go with people that liaison on with our family, liaison on with our people that we know back home, so that they themselves will be able to cater for their family, be able to provide for their family. But apparently, greed or whatever, I don't know what the situation is with them. But at the end of the day, I need to know where my items are, and if not, how am I being reimbursed?
Wow. So what I can do is to keep reaching out to them. I'll have to send someone with a camera over there to at least see what is going on. But I did do some investigations, and I have the business information and the lawyer that incorporated that business. I know his firm. So we're going to stick to it. And there are many others out there I'm hearing with similar situation. So we will have to talk about it a little more and expose this type of craziness that is happening, especially with people's personal items. But the company here, folks, it is U.S. Prime Shipping, and it is located on 92nd Street, there, East 92nd Street, in Brooklyn, New York. So we are waiting for them to call us back. And like I told them, I'm giving you guys the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to stain your business, but I'm letting you know that I am trying to investigate a report. And if you can call me before tonight then we can have a conversation. They did not call me, and so I am here tonight speaking about Prime Shipping. And so I'm going to go over there myself sometime next week also, so that we can see what is happening. And if there's anyone with other stories on this matter, come forward and talk to us so that we can come together and deal with it. All right, let me see, something is coming there. Somebody just text me something. Let me read it on the air while you're here. I was told that the tropical shipping, which they use for shipping their cargo, are paid the shipping fees, so they refuse to release the goods. I even have expired stuff in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you get a lot of information, a lot of stuff, because, I mean, somebody has to expose them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and the rent you have to pay is over 300 EC, and they tell you they'll refund you. Oh, so it seems to me I'm kind of understanding what is happening here, because I had a friend who shipped his vehicle in a container, and it ended up staying on the port, causing more than $10,000 plus, and it was a challenge because they were not paying the required payments, so that those containers, those stuff can be cleared. So we're going to stick to the story. It seems like it is something that keeps happening over and over before. Mm-hmm. Wow, and this person has her wedding stuff in it, wedding stuff, and is panicking. This is not good, friends. This is not good business at all. And you're talking about people's personal items, their wedding stuff. This is not good.
Yeah, because I had stuff for my niece in the barrel. I had to go back and buy those stuff to send home via Amerijet so that they could get it. No. Why did I have to spend extra money for stuff that's in the barrel that was supposed to be home within 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, not good.
And now I have to do it again because the barrels and commercial beans are still not in St. Lucia. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, just make it add up. Every time you call, it's going to be in St. Lucia next week. It's going to be in St. Lucia on this date. But yet still it's not there. Where are my items? I don't know.
Oh, boy. So I guess I will have to introduce a service, a tracking device service, where I can give you guys a small device to put in the bottom of your barrels. So at least we know where it is. That's a business I might have to get into.
And the thing about it is, when you go back and you buy this stuff, who is reimbursing you that extra
cost? It takes a lot of time to pack stuff. Right now. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. I know. You got to go to the store. You got to pack. You got to stand in line. It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
It's not even that. You did that, and now you have to go back and buy the same exact things that you just shipped.
Yeah,
again, and pay an extra money so that your family could get it. Now I want to send something else to my family. I'm afraid to ship my barrel because I'm afraid they're not going to get it. Who do you trust?
My God.
And I'm just saying, solutions need to be angry. Solutions need to be mad because I know I'm not the only one. I know that I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Well, the folks need to come forward. The number is 929-586-1821. They need to come forward and let's have a conversation. Somebody says there the consignment is in St. Lucia. I don't know who this person is. And that's Douglas. I'm not sure if you are part of one of the shipping company, but somebody is saying that the consignment is in St. Lucia.
Today's not Thursday. Today is Tuesday. So how is it in St. Lucia and I have not yet to receive it?
And look,
it makes sense.
Somebody saying that some of their stuff has expired. So it looked like we have a whole set of people who are having some serious times in getting their shipment. Not good. So it says that it is in St. Lucia, and I'm not sure.
Where in St. Lucia? Where? That's the information. What port? What number lot?
Maybe it's in Den report. I don't know. And the person is saying unless Tropical is paid, you will not get your items. So it seems like these little shipping companies are trying to make a little change, or some of them are trying to survive. So when they get the money, instead of paying what they need to pay, they're paying other things with it and ending up, messing the whole shipping thing up, the logistic up.
When, the thing about it is the cost of barrels have gone up, right? The cost of barrels have gone up. The cost of commercial beans have gone up.
Yeah.
So if you're charging the price to ship, the price of the barrel, why are people still waiting for this stuff if you are charging money so that when a person items get to the point of destination, and still remember when the person gets to go get this, they still have to pay money to get it still.
Yeah,
so why just not charge what you're charging and allow the people to get this stuff?
Jeez, yeah, this is a mess. This is honestly a mess, and I'm going to call on the authorities in St. Lucia to see what they can do for customers like you. And we'll also need to speak to the Better Business authorities here in New York to say what they can do.
That's in the works, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to make some serious
It makes
calls.
no sense.
Yeah, I'm going to make some
It
calls.
makes no sense.
Yeah, to see.
Because that's since February 22nd. And as I said to her, put yourself in my shoes. Do you think that you will accept me telling you, well, I spoke to you already, and the stuff will be in St. Lucia on Thursday? You told me it will be in St. Lucia April 7th. Now we're in May. And you want me to just, I spoke to you and just understand that it's going to be in St. Lucia on Thursday. And somebody else is going to say it's in St. Lucia.
Well, they say that they're not paying the bills. They're not paying the bills.
Shipping. No, they're not. They're not.
So it is stuck on the wharf.
So, because if you don't pay that, they're not going to deliver, let you get your container.
No. And it's going to accumulate
They're
storage
not going to allow
fees.
you to get it.
Yeah.
And then the cost accumulates. And who's going to pay the cost that's, being accumulated right now? Me, the customer, when I already paid?
Yeah. I don't know what to say, my friend. But we're going to keep on the story. A lot of people are coming forward now. So our news desk is going to be very busy in the next few days. They said they were going to call me back.
Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem, my friend. God bless you. Thank you for calling.
God bless.
Thank you. All right, folks. So let's go over to Mr. Healy and the CIP situation in St. Lucia. I'm not sure we can go through all of it, but we have a problem in St. Lucia. And I was just going to read this, and we have a letter, 5-page agreement that we would want to look at. Now, this CIP thing is becoming an embarrassment, to tell you the truth. And for those of you who are just coming in, that is the whole sales of passports. We have a problem in St. Lucia. Now, the Caribbean leaders, they are in Washington meeting with the State Department of the United States. And once you talk about State Department, you're dealing with security, national security, of course, and other concerns. So these government leaders have gone there to have a conversation, maybe to see if the United States government can ease up, because there are some serious concerns that the United States have concerning the relationship between Caribbean nations and China. That's a big problem for the United States, the influence of China in the region. And so, Pam, they're up there. But I did post on my platform where there is what seems to be there in Washington, a protest truck. That truck is what you call a blim. You call it street blim. They do promotions and that truck goes around, drive around and show ads. Now this truck is parked outside the halls there in Washington, D.C., and they're protesting. They're saying, look, you guys have relationship with China and Cuba or whatever it is, and I mean, it is the welcoming sign for our Caribbean leaders up there in Washington. So let me just read this here. It says, $1 billion scandal gets worse. Citizenship prices increase, and Hele lets Galaxy keep the extra money. So we have US 100,000 increased to US $250,000. It says Galaxy gets an extra US $900 million. So a whole lot of money going out. So we have some communications here, some letters. Let's see what it is. Let's see what they are. So we have a letter here, and I'm going to be reading. It says Caribbean Galaxy Real Estate, first floor, that is up in Rodney Bay. That's where the office is. And this letter was pinned the 10th of July, 2024. That is last year. While people are asking all the questions, there is these communications going on between the government of St. Lucia and the Galaxy company. And the letter is addressed to the deputy chairman of the Citizen by Investment Program. That's Mr. Charles. That's the deputy. I'm not sure if the real chief was on vacation or what. But it says, we are responding to your letter of the 2nd of July, and I'm quoting here, July 2024, in respect of the enterprise agreement between us and the government of St. Lucia, dated 12 January 2024. So the government went into a deal with Galaxy that is the 12th of January 2024 and signed on behalf of the government of St. Lucia, signed by Dr. Hele. Now, this is the same Hele who say that he don't know, he have to ask, and he don't have a lot of information, and blah, 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 blah. Just bear with us. Let's read the letter. The letter reference to the proposed increase in relevant qualifying enterprise investment option 3 from US 100,000 for a single applicant to fixed fee of US 250 for a family of 4. Now, you would have heard the opposition, Mr. Alan Chastney, speaking about this same increase, and he was asking why the increase, who is benefiting. And you would have heard the government saying to you, well, he don't listen to him. He just want to crash everything. He don't want you to get health care. He don't want you to get clean roads and better roads and all the drama, except the information that we needed. So all the government had to say is, look, we went into an agreement, a discussion with Galaxy, and we tried to negotiate some things here. We knew nothing about it. We knew nothing about it. Remember, they signed the agreement in January, and there is a letter coming in now, July 10th, referring to a previous letter that was a proposal that was written to the Galaxy company. And now, all that is happening, and we didn't know, you know. They told us, we don't know, it's just Alan Chastney and the opposition wanting to sow mischief and to take away your benefits from you and blah, 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 blah. You heard it, friends. You heard it. But they were signing stuff. They were making agreement and billions of dollars in agreement. But a lot of people don't understand this whole CIP and the importance, how bad this is, what we're discussing. A lot of people don't understand. They don't understand the discussion, and so we got to take our time and explain. We're not going to stay very long, but I'm going to start the process, and we'll have a special broadcast only to deal with the CIP program. So bear with me, folks. So here is it. So an increase from US 100,000 for a single applicant to a fixed fee of US 650,000 US dollars for a family of 4. This increase is, as we understand it, part of the arrangements agreed between the government of St. Lucia and other Caribbean countries pursuant to the Memorandum of Agreement. So now they go after Galaxy to say, look, we got to comply with the agreement that the Memorandum of Agreement that we signed with the OECS, other member states who were selling their passports. Remember that memorandum that the government struggled to jump on and sign, and we had to force them and quarrel with them, basically, and drag them with a pen in their hands to sign it. Remember those moments when they said, well, we have some stuff that we got to deal with first, and so we got to wait, we will sign it. We never said we're not going to sign it, but we're going to sign it at the right time. We're not going to sign it now. We got to wait because we have some agreements that we have signed on to. Remember, they said that. I'm not making up this story, folks. They said, we have some stuff that we had already agreed on before this. So when we finish deal with our agreement, then we're going to sign on. Then we heard the Prime Minister saying, well, we never said we're not going to sign it. We never said that. And then we heard that, yes, we signed it. We signed it. Yes, you didn't know we signed it. You heard that for yourself. So let's finish the letter. So all this is going on. But we, the people, don't know. So it says this increase is, as we understand it, part of the agreement between the government of the Caribbean countries. That is the Memorandum of Understanding. All right, so let's go to copy number 2. Page number 2. So the letter continues. This is 2 out of 5. It continues by investment CBI was due to be issued on the 1st of July 2024. As yet, we have not been provided with a copy of any revised CBI legislation, whether as enacted or proposed. And we are unaware of what transitional regime is proposed, if any. We would be grateful if you would provide us with a copy of the relevant amending legislation. As we understand it, however, applications currently submitted will be processed on the existing agreement. Whatever it is, we continue, subject to the minimum changes set out in the agreement. Your 2nd of July 2024 letter seeks to amend the agreement by referring to the changes which have been or will be brought about by the Memorandum of Agreement. A, increase the minimum qualified investment, and B, either reducing the number of shares to be provided us pursuant to the agreement, 6,000 files, or increasing the current capital investment to US 100, I believe the M there is million. We will appreciate the counterparties to the agreement. The government of St. Lucia has no ability unilaterally to alter the terms of the agreement. So this is Galaxy saying, well, you guys can't just change stuff on us like that. You can't just do that. That's not how you do it. So send us some documents where you guys did. Imagine they're communicating, but they're not sending anything official, it seems, to Galaxy. So Galaxy saying, please, we have not seen anything. Send something to us. And so we continue to read, of course. But pursuant to clauses 2A and 3A of the agreement, Galaxy agrees to provide funding of US $100 million with an additional US $2 million by way of management cost for the process of the purposes of the project as defined in the agreement. All right? This is contractually agreed investment sum. So we have clause 3C, the agreement of government of GOSL agreed to provide 6,000. The government of St. Lucia agreed to give Galaxy 6,000 shares. 6,000 shares. You understand what I'm saying? And that is for Galaxy contribution of US $100 million. Now I'm going to post this on the platform. I think it's there already. I'll see if it's up there. All right. Does Galaxy bore the commercial risk in that regard, i.e., it may have been able to sell less than the full 6,000 shares, but would remain committed to funding the project to the value of US $100 million. I don't understand. What is 6,000 shares equal to? Is it a few $billion? Is that what we're talking about? And the question would be, what is the cost of the hotel? What is the cost of the project that these guys are doing that we're giving them all that money? I'm just a little concerned about this. But remember, we were told from the beginning, my people, that that's a lie. We never give anybody 6,000 shares. You all remember that whole story? No. We never give 6,000 shares. That's a lie. You guys remember. But here is Galaxy saying that, yes, that's the agreement. 6,000 shares. 6,000 shares, my people. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's see if we can pull this up. Let's see if we can pull it up on the screen here. So it says here, 2024, there is no obligation on the part of Galaxy to increase its funding of the project as a result of the proposed increase to the minimum changes of US 250. Likewise, there is no contractual right on the part of government of St. Lucia to insist upon such an increase. So Galaxy is saying, you guys can't insist on that. You guys can't push us on that one. That's what it's saying, basically. You know? You all can't do that. In these circumstances, Galaxy is saying, in these circumstances, we do not see the need for any amendment to the agreement. On the contrary. So they're saying, look, we don't see no reason for this. What you guys want to do there, we ain't see no reason for it. Let's go on. So, lastly, it says, unfortunately, we have had no substantive response from the government. So the government have not really given them anything solid. That's what they're saying. Unfortunately, Galaxy is saying. Unfortunately, you guys have not given us anything solid for us to have this discussion on. So let's see here. So no substantial anything from the government of St. Lucia. Instead, all we have had is notification of 2 limited road projects. I'm going to read this again. All we have had is notification of 2 limited road projects relating to the recent Cricket T20 World Cup. Although these works will be funded by Galaxy, the manner in which Galaxy was notified of these works did not comply with the terms of the agreement, nor the draft memorandum of understanding. As such, we invite the government of St. Lucia to engage with Galaxy to agree upon the infrastructure projects and the implementation so that Galaxy can fulfill its side of the agreement. Ying Chen, director of Galaxy. Folks, for me, we need to follow this carefully because this is going to explode badly on the citizens of the country. Yeah, it will. If you read the letter carefully, you have the government, from the government side, are not really following the right protocols when it comes to the contractual agreement made with this foreign company. This foreign company can do a lot. They can say a lot. And they can walk away, or may have already, I'm not sure, folks, walk away with billions of dollars. Understand what I'm saying? This CIP program need to be paused. They need to stop. They need to breathe. They need to change around people, the management. They need a forensic audit so that we can know what in the world is happening to St. Lucia, their passport, the whole CBI program. And this is no joke. This is no joke. I don't know what you're thinking, but this is not a time for celebration. This is not a time for gimmicks and propaganda. This is a time for serious action to be taken when it comes to the CIP program in St. Lucia. I say, pull up the emergency brake and let's figure out what in the world is happening here. There's lack of proper communication with Galaxy, lack of proper documentation, a little confusion here and confusion there. Lack of information being given to the public. And then the public is getting all these pieces and pieces of stuff as the days go by, and they're not looking good. As a matter of fact, all that is happening right here in this space was prophesied, as far as I'm concerned, predicted. The alert, the alarm was sounded. Nobody paid attention. Instead, people were doing their regular politicking with the intention of confusing the minds of the people. Now, that confusing of the mind of the people is not going to help what the government of St. Lucia will have to deal with. And sadly, not only the government of St. Lucia that got to deal with it, it is the citizens of the country that will have to deal with it. I am proposing, I am recommending that we pause this thing. I think the injunction that was filed by the opposition leader, Mr. Shaston, is in place. Hold your horses. Let's stop this thing and figure out what to do, what we should be doing at this point. How are we going to get a win-win deal for the citizens of St. Lucia? Right now, you guys are playing with fire that you can't deal with. You do not have enough fire trucks in St. Lucia and professional firemen in St. Lucia to deal with the type of fire, CIP fire, that you're playing with. I am saying, and I am proud to say to you, that the opposition leader and the United Workers' Party told you so. But you did not listen. You were warned. Now you have no choice but to dance to whatever music is being played out there. Not music of your choice, but music that is being played by the banjo man. And you are not the banjo player. Somebody else is. Sad, but we are here. I told you so. We told you so. So now, you got a deal. What can I say? Let's take a break and we'll close the show.
Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines, we cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report. Caribbean.
And folks, thank you so much for being here with us. We want you to support Fire FM. Yes, that's the real deal right now, hitting St. Lucia by storm. But we want to continue to pray and give support to the family of Adriana Younge over there in Guyana. The story is a story that we'll continue to follow. Very interesting, I'm sure something is going to happen quickly on this matter. So, what I'm saying, Brethren, let us continue to support the family. They're going through a hell of a time. And only those who knows it, who feels it, knows it. All right? So, again, on behalf of this platform, our deepest and sincere condolences to the people of Guyana. We stand with you as a region, and we look forward to your closure. And I know that the funeral service for your daughter was postponed for a later date, and I know it pains you. I know that you are just going through a hell of a time at this moment. So our prayers are with you, and what can I say? Just hold on. I can't tell you I know what you're feeling. Only you know what you're feeling. I'm sure you might be feeling at this time hopeless, like you're not getting any proper answers, like things are but just hang in there. We have you, we have your back, and we're here for you. You can reach out to us at the number on the screen, or 347-623-9183. That will get you directly to me so that we can have a discussion. My folks, thank you so much for being here with Caribbean American News Media platform. It is always a pleasure to be here with you. A matter of fact, the reason why we have not been having news on the go for this week is that two of the devices that we were using on the vehicle got damaged, of course, and I had no way of really doing that. So news on the go should be back by, I believe, Thursday. I ordered a piece of stuff, equipment. So by Thursday, we should be back live on our weekly News on the Go program. And then our broadcast, again, will be live on Fire FM. That's 107.7 FM. And want to thank the staff of GVD TV, channel 115, the Flow channel, for being here with us. Thank you, folks. Love you all. And remember to go out there and be a blessing. Be a blessing to someone. All right? No. When I say 5FM, our broadcast will be broadcast live on 5FM. Thank you, Elita. But they are on the air, and they're increasing capacity as to frequency around the country. So we will be on, I'm sure, by Tuesday night, coming on the air, or there might be a rebroadcast of the program on Fire FM. Thank you, folks. Bonsoir, bonsoir. Dormez bien.